Texas man is charged with stalking Fever star Caitlin Clark.
It's noise that I don't really listen to, honestly, because I'm in season. I have other things.
The first 15 seconds of this initial hearing caught everyone in the courtroom off guard as 55-year-old Michael Lewis wasted no time admitting to the charges he's facing.
She can't go before Asia. Who the fuck says she can't go before Asia?
But what often happens is that something really bad has to happen to these women before they do take an interest.
The man accused of stalking Caitlin Clark is back in jail.
He reports Nike wants to prioritize A'ja Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star who just won league MVP for the third time. So why in the world are they being so quiet about Caitlin?
Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's brightest star, is facing a terrifying ordeal. A 55-year-old stalker has been arrested after sending her disturbing threats, leaving fans shocked and her safety in question.
Unfortunately, this is something that so many celebrities have to deal with. This is probably, unfortunately, not the only person who goes as far as to actually stalking her.
And as Caitlin deals with this alarming situation, another controversy unfolds. Nike's failure to deliver on her $28 million deal. While other players like A'ja Wilson secure new contracts and signature shoes, Caitlin, the league's biggest draw, is inexplicably sidelined.
I believe that Caitlin Clark, if they would have released a signature shoe for her this season, they would have made a killing.
What's really going on behind the scenes? From the chilling stalking case to the scandal-rocking Nike, this is a story you can't afford to miss.
A Texas man is in the Marion County Jail. He's charged with stalking Fever star Caitlin Clark right here in Indianapolis.
And he was in court this morning for the first time after his arrest for allegedly sending Clark sexually explicit and threatening messages online.
Caitlin Clark, known for her record-breaking performances and electrifying presence on the court, recently became the target of a terrifying stalking incident. The stalker, identified as 55-year-old Michael Thomas Lewis from Texas, was arrested after sending a string of explicit and threatening messages to the WNBA star over several weeks.
You're a survivor of sexual misconduct and you work with survivors. What more can be done to protect women athletes as they rise in popularity?
Usually these stalkers end up getting a suspended sentence or some sort of probation, even though this person could get up to 6 years in prison. And we do need to start becoming more stringent in the penalties that we hand out, not just suspended sentences and not just probation.
These messages, ranging from sexually violent threats to unsettling claims about following her, left Caitlin fearing for her safety and forced her to alter her public schedule.
Caitlin Clark told investigators over the weekend she was very concerned for her safety. She even altered her public schedule and changed the way she moved around town.
Court documents reveal that Lewis sent at least 14 disturbing messages to Clark between December 16, 2024 and January 11, 2025.
I won't be able to wear your hoodie, won't look good in court, and been driving around your house 3 times a day.
In one message, he claimed to have driven by her home multiple times each day, while in another, he threatened to sit directly behind her team's bench during a game. Authorities traced these messages to locations near Caitlin's home venue, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, including a hotel and a public library.
Prior to placing him into custody, police met with Lewis last week about the threats along with his presence in Indianapolis, and he said that he was in the city for a vacation and described his messages as a fantasy type thing that should have been the first red flag of it all, if not the second, third, fourth, or 37th red flag. He said that Lewis continued to send Clark messages even after speaking with local authorities. So it is clear that there was something wrong.
His actions escalated to the point where a level 5 felony stalking charge was filed, carrying the potential for a 6-year prison sentence.
He's now charged with stalking, a level 5 felony, after investigators say recent messages came from an IP address here in Indianapolis.
At his court appearance, Lewis's behavior was erratic. He loudly declared himself guilty as charged, and even refused the opportunity for bail, saying he preferred to stay in jail.
That made everybody certainly understand the urgency of the situation. There are consequences to what people say online.
There's something wrong with this man. He is clearly not all right in the head, and he is clearly dangerous. This is awful. I hate hearing stories like this. We heard one just recently, just a few months ago, about Paige Becker and her stalker as well.
His remarks in court, paired with his past actions, paint a chilling picture of someone completely detached from reality. When questioned by the judge, Lewis admitted to suffering from mental health issues and requested medication, further underscoring the complexity of the situation.
A level 5 felony, by the way, carries a sentence of up to 6 years and a fine of up to $10,000.
The one thing I can say is that I'm incredibly hopeful that we've moved in the right direction, because the police were taking this incredibly serious from the start.
This isn't just a story about one individual's disturbing behavior. It highlights the growing issue of public figures, especially women in sports, being targeted by stalkers.
Paige Beckers, the man arrested for allegedly stalking her, appeared in court today. Nicole, 40-year-old Robert Parmalee from Washington State is set to go before a judge today.
When questioned by police, Parmalee said he's fathered more than 17,000 children and was going to see Beckers.
He also made a TikTok post that was threatening to Paige and her family with the caption reading, "And if I cannot live with a woman of my choosing, Paige, then I will choose to die, and I will choose to take all of you that oppose me, oppose us, to hell and return."
Caitlin is not alone in facing such threats. The league and law enforcement must act decisively to ensure the safety of players and send a clear message that such behavior will not be tolerated.
We had not truly heard from Caitlin Clark about how any of the discourse online, the hate that she received online, things like this, like she has never openly come out and talked about any of these things. She has never complained about these sort of things. I think the absolute best way to deal with trolls, to deal with someone who's threatening you, to deal with any of these things is to not respond, do not engage, and keep receipts of those things, and I'm sure that's what she was doing here.
For Caitlin, this ordeal is a stark reminder that even as she inspires millions, she must remain vigilant about her personal safety. The incident has sparked a larger conversation about the challenges female athletes face both on and off the court, and why stronger measures are needed to protect them from those who wish them harm.
On the daily, she gets weird messages, she gets hateful messages, she gets trolling, she gets all of those things.
While Caitlin Clark battles threats off the court, another major headline in the WNBA centers around A'ja Wilson and her lucrative new Nike deal. The Las Vegas Aces star has signed a 6-year extension with Nike, solidifying her position as one of the highest-paid athletes in women's basketball.
Caitlin seemed to be a perfect fit for the brand, $28 million at the time, while some people, including myself, were saying that this might be a little bit too low because of the superstar that she is.
This deal comes on the heels of the launch of her signature shoe, the A1, which is set to hit the market in spring 2025.
Her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes.
A'ja Wilson's resume is undoubtedly impressive. A 3-time WNBA MVP, 2-time league champion, and an Olympic gold medalist, she's among the league's elite players.
Under Armour offered her 4 years for $16 million, which by a year-by-year basis, she would actually be making more per year if she had signed with Under Armour.
Her accolades include breaking single-season scoring and rebounding records in 2024 and becoming the first player in WNBA history to surpass 1,000 points in a single season.
Under Armour for sure wouldn't have ignored her this entire season and missed out on so many marketing dollars.
Off the court, she has embraced her role as a marketable athlete, securing endorsements and appearing on the cover of NBA 2025, a historic moment for women's basketball. This latest contract extension with Nike further cements her status as one of the most visible faces in the league.
They signed Wemby for an over $100 million contract. Caitlin Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed and revived a league that was the WNBA, and she is getting paid a measly $28 million for 8 years as opposed to Wemby's $100.
However, it has also reignited debates about the distribution of resources and recognition among athletes. While A'ja Wilson's achievements are undeniable, many fans argue that her popularity doesn't compare to Caitlin Clark's. Clark, who boasts record-breaking viewership numbers, sells out road arenas, and has become a cultural phenomenon, has yet to see similar marketing efforts from Nike despite her larger fan base and undeniable star power.
It seems to me that it is more on the political side as to why Caitlin Clark is not getting the praise, the commercials, the ads, the merch, like all of the things that she should have gotten.
Wilson's success and her ability to capitalize on her fame are commendable, but they highlight a stark contrast in Nike's treatment of its athletes. While A'ja Wilson's new deal and signature shoe represent a significant milestone for her career, it raises questions about Nike's priorities and the criteria they use to decide which athletes receive their full marketing support.
Nike hasn't produced one ad or commercial featuring Clark since she turned pro, and despite a signature shoe being part of Nike's agreement with Clark, it may not be released until 2026, according to sports business reporter Ethan Strauss.
For now, Wilson is enjoying her moment in the spotlight, deservedly so, but the disparities in how Nike handles its most marketable stars, especially when compared to the mishandling of Caitlin Clark's brand, cast a shadow over what should otherwise be a celebratory moment.
Is A'ja Wilson currently the best player in the WNBA? Yes. Is Caitlin Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes.
This contrast sets the stage for an even larger discussion about fairness and opportunity in the world of women's sports endorsements. Despite signing an impressive $28 million deal with Nike earlier this year, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's most marketable star, still doesn't have her own signature shoe.
Do I think if A'ja Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlin Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time, that Caitlin Clark would outsell A'ja's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that would be the case.
This delay has frustrated her fans, who see it as a glaring oversight by Nike. While other athletes like A'ja Wilson and even less-known players have already launched signature products or are preparing for new deals, Caitlin, the league's biggest draw, is left waiting.
But we saw the top jersey sales in the WNBA this season, and A'ja, despite being a third-time MVP, her jersey sales were 5th in the league even after Kate Martin.
Caitlin Clark's impact on women's basketball is unparalleled. She led the WNBA in viewership and merchandise sales as a rookie, with her games averaging over 1 million viewers, far exceeding the numbers of most other players.
How do you miss an opportunity like that? How do you not capitalize? It doesn't make any sense at all.
Her influence is so strong that road arenas consistently sell out when she's on the court, and fans of all ages proudly wear her jersey. Nike's delay in capitalizing on this momentum is not only baffling, but also a missed opportunity for both the brand and its customers. Fans have voiced their frustrations on social media, accusing Nike of prioritizing fairness over financial sense.
Why are we coddling these women? You wouldn't see this on the men's side. If a brand thinks they're going to sell shoes with a player, they're going to release some stuff.
Some argue that the delay stems from backlash about Clark being a white athlete in a predominantly black league, especially after criticism surfaced when her deal was announced. Reports suggest that Nike is hesitant to release Clark's shoe due to fears of backlash, particularly from fans and players who believe other athletes, like A'ja Wilson, should have been prioritized.
Caitlin Clark, the reason I bring up Caitlin Clark is because they're attached at the hip with one another, which means they're ultimately going to be compared.
This hesitation stands in stark contrast to Nike's swift action with other athletes. Paige Buchers, for instance, debuted her custom Nike GT Hustle 3 sneaker while still in college. In comparison, Caitlin, already a WNBA superstar, has to wait until 2026 for her first shoe, a delay that defies logic and frustrates her loyal fan base.
Caitlin Clark has handled her branding extremely well.
To make matters worse, Caitlin isn't even being promoted in the way Nike typically supports its top-tier athletes.
I realized that this was the first year that I was more interested in the women's than I was in men's basketball. No disrespect to the men, but, we've always had fabulous women players. This year, it was just different. It was like, 15 or 20 beautiful females really doing their thing. And, I'm happy for women. I'm happy for women's sports. But again, this was the first time that I said, you know what? I'm more interested in the women playing than the men.
There have been no high-profile ad campaigns, no commercials celebrating her historic rookie season, and no public acknowledgement of her unparalleled marketability. Instead, she's been left to play in older models like Kobe's sneakers, further highlighting Nike's lack of urgency in leveraging her brand.
When people come into the league and they're like the biggest thing in college, isn't that a big deal?
No, because A'ja Wilson was the biggest thing when she came out of South Carolina. That's where I'm from. And she didn't get all of that.
I mean, you're saying that's racism?
No, I'm not saying it's racist. I'm just saying that I think A'ja Wilson has a point. And I think sometimes when, black women say certain things, we should listen, especially her, because I'm not in her shoes.
I don't know. But why was Serena Williams such a big star? Because people like that. They didn't not watch her because she was black, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They hate her because she's white, she's straight, and more importantly, she's better than everybody else. Period. End of story.
In the Indiana Fever, President Allison Barber revealed this request made by Clark during the season. Listen.
After a few away games and all of the sellouts, Caitlin asked the WNBA if they would pay spot bonuses to the away team players. She said, wow, we're making all this new revenue, and I would like the away team to benefit from that. Could they get a spot bonus? So that's the heart of Caitlin Clark. I mean, that's a classy, amazing person.
This isn't just a missed opportunity for Nike. It's a betrayal of Caitlin Clark's contributions to the sport. Fans are beginning to call for accountability, with some even suggesting boycotts of the brand until Clark receives the recognition she deserves.
Not only was she making a great shot, she was making great passes, and she took her loss with humility. I want to see more games.
Rival companies such as Adidas are reportedly monitoring the situation, with whispers of renewed offers to Clark that could allow her to move to a brand that values her worth.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes.
In the end, the delay of Caitlin Clark's signature shoe reflects more than just corporate inefficiency. It's emblematic of a broader issue in how women athletes are treated and valued. Nike's mishandling of Caitlin's brand could serve as a cautionary tale, highlighting the risks of ignoring public demand and the potential backlash of putting perceived fairness over sound business decisions.
And when you look at Caitlin Clark is balling. She's a Rookie of the Year. She was one of the finalists for the league MVP honors as a rookie, breaking all types of records. She should have been on Team USA. Her brand building has been incredibly impressive.
Caitlin Clark's journey is a story of triumph overshadowed by challenges, both on and off the court. From facing the terrifying ordeal of a stalker to battling the frustrating neglect of a major brand like Nike, her experiences highlight the obstacles even the brightest stars encounter. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson's success serves as a reminder of the disparities and controversies that continue to shape women's sports and endorsements.
Why do you think people love Caitlin Clark, besides her skills?
She can shoot threes from logo.
We never seen that before. That's my point. Steph Curry, a little kid. Like, Steph Curry, I love, you know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've seen it a little bit, but I've never seen a guy consistently come down. And if you look at, like, if you saw Steph on the street, he ain't got the LeBron muscles. He's not 6'9", he's 6'10". He look like a perfect, normally office guy.
Yeah.
He's doing stuff that people never seen before. She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis.
These stories aren't just about basketball. They're about respect, recognition, and the systemic issues that still plague the industry. Caitlin Clark deserves better. not just as a player, but as a trailblazer who has brought unprecedented attention to the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark was named AP Female Athlete of the Year following her impact on women's sports. Caitlin Clark raised the profile of women's basketball to unprecedented levels in both the college ranks and the WNBA, and Tuesday she was named the AP Female Athlete of the Year for her impact on and off the court. Clark is only the 4th women's basketball player to be honored as the Female Athlete of the Year since it was first presented in 1931, joining Cheryl Swoops, Rebecca Lobo, and Candace Parker.
The question now is, will the world and companies like Nike rise to the occasion and give her the respect she has earned? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Nike is mishandling Caitlin's brand? And what can be done to protect athletes from stalkers and ensure they receive the recognition they deserve? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that go beyond the headlines. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
The entire Fever payroll is $1.2 million. That is less than the minimum salary for a single NBA player with a year's experience.
Last year's NBA #1 draft pick, Victor Wembanyama, earned over $12 million.
Fanatics sold more Clark jerseys in 1 hour after she was drafted than any other sport or player ever.
$76,000 is not enough for someone you are looking to be the face of the league.